It's 6 o'clock on Saturday, the 23rd of November, 2019. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to the English edition of Ora News. My name is Oliver, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. Making headlines tonight, President Ilir Meta is determined to give the green light to his idea of holding a referendum as the way to end the political crisis playing out in government. Following Friday's strong statement, the head of state announced on Monday that he would give concrete ideas for the eventual referendum. Meta quoted Article 150 of the Constitution, implying that it will be the signatures of 50,000 citizens who will ask the president to hold the referendum. According to Article 150, there are 3 points to consider. Point 1. The people, through 50,000 eligible voters, have the right to hold a referendum on the repeal of a law and to request the President of the Republic to hold a referendum on matters of particular importance. Point 2. The Assembly, on the proposal of not less than 1/5 of the MPs or on the proposal of the Council of Ministers, may decide that a matter or a draft law of special importance should be put up to a referendum. And point 3. The principles and procedures for holding the referendum and its validity are provided by the law. The head of state, in a Facebook post, said that it has been 21 years since the political class did not enact the law to enforce its constitutional obligation to make the process of direct democracy impossible. But now there is no more tolerance or justifications. This political class only knows how to deepen crises and avoid accountability. It does not recognize political dialogue, public or national interest. So now everything has to be done through referendums. What did Switzerland find out from their referendums? Let's rest today, and tomorrow and on Monday I will propose concrete ideas for the referendum. The president's decision comes at a time when the Constitutional Court is in a deadlock over the clashes with the majority pertaining to the election of its members. Besting Mucci, who is already decreed by the president, has now left because of the vetting process, while Marcida Jaffelari is not recognized by the majority. Next up tonight at the CDU Congress, which is being held in Germany, Luzin Basha reiterated his position that the Bundestag's 9-point plan is the only way out of Albania's crisis. The opposition leader, through a video posted to social media, highlighted the issues he discussed with the senior CDU officials while focusing on integration and the opening of negotiations. I have asked for the continued support from the highest representatives in not only Berlin, but also Brussels. I want to share with you another good piece of news, which comes from the help of the best experts of the German Christian Democrats, said Basha. Basha said he would return from Germany with a full slate of work to be done and with a plan to get Albania out of its political crisis, all while guaranteeing the support he received from the Democratic Party's economic program. The opposition leader was optimistic in his meetings in Germany, which according to him will constitute the next steps to put Albania back on the path of economic development. Moving on, the Democratic Party is working on a platform for free and fair elections, which is expected to be published in early December. According to MP Oer Bulukbashi, who co-chaired the Reform Committee, the proposals address concerns raised by the OSCE ODIHR, starting with the issue of ID cards, manipulation of voter lists, the use of and pressure by the public administration, and even the misuse of state resources. But beyond the interference in the law, Bulukbashi says the main mechanism that guarantees standards is the transitional government. So far, there is no communication channel between the extra-parliamentary opposition and the majority on the electoral code. But Bulukbashi says such an important law can never be passed without an agreement from all parties. The former Democratic MP says that in early December, there will be no electoral system in line with the DP proposals. According to him, this is not because he is unwilling to change it, but he argues that such intervention requires a discussion at the political and constitutional level. Well, living in Tirana has become more and more expensive thanks to the municipality of Tirana increasing every tax and every price for the service it offers by either double or triple. Over the last 4 years, the impact tax on infrastructure has reeled in $120 million, parking fees $13 million, and from the price of drinkable water after the tax increase, the municipality collected $11 million more. From what has been mentioned alone, the impact tax, parking fees, and the water tax, the municipality of Tirana has collected a total of $169 million over a 4-year time span. That's without the introduction of business tax, public spaces, urban ticket pricing, and much more. Despite this enormous revenue, Tirana's problems continue to be the same as before. Traffic overflow, streets without asphalt, neighborhoods without lighting, citizens pushing through urban areas without heating and cooling. Many say that this is the real face of Tirana that is not advertised on the mayor's Instagram. Even with these accumulated revenues, the municipality of Tirana turns out to have the largest debt in the country. According to data from the Ministry of Finance, the municipality of Tirana owns 30% of the total liabilities of local government units. Thus, the capital has about 2 billion lek of arrears out of a total of 6.2 billion, comprising all municipal debts in the country. It seems that the question everybody continues to raise is, where does our money go? 7,100 apartments, most of them abandoned for more than 10 years, have now been legalized in Tirana. This was announced by the Director General of the State Cadastre Agency, Artan Lame, during a ceremony to distribute legalization permits of abandoned buildings by investors. The head of the Cadastre calls on the citizens to be careful not to be deceived and to instead head to the counters of the Cadastre. Lame also called on citizens to come together to benefit from this process. The Tirana Director of the National Agency for Cadastre, Marie-Glen Disha, and Minister Florian Pulza, and MP Vasilika Husi all attended this meeting. And finally tonight, new Insta data shows that Albanians increasingly prefer to live in larger cities. Regions on the outskirts of the country's major cities are experiencing high migration levels to urbanized areas. Not only are there more opportunities for a better life, but also improved access to essential services in urban centers that are attracting citizens to move in droves. The prefectures of Dibra and Gjirokastër have had the lowest rates of internal migration in the past 3 years, respectively attracting 13.6 and 13.4 people per 1,000 inhabitants. At the same time, the most significant migration during 2018 was found in the Dibra region. In that case, 1,632 citizens left, and just for comparison, in Elbasan, the number was 1,272. Meanwhile, population growth has been affecting the country's 2 largest cities, those being Tirana and Durrës. This has in effect caused the population density in these urban areas to become very, very high. The district of Tirana has the highest population density anywhere in the country, approximately 538 inhabitants per square kilometer, as recorded in 2018. The region with the second highest population density can be found in Durrës, approximately 378 inhabitants per square kilometer, followed by Fier, with 157 inhabitants per square kilometer. On the other hand, the regions with the lowest population density are those of Dibra, Kukës, and Gjirokastër, each respectively with 46, 32, and 22 inhabitants per square kilometer. Another interesting point of data was that it was revealed in this report is the fact that Dibra is the only city with the highest level of consumption of alcoholic drinks and tobacco, only to be followed by Elbasan and Leja, while Vlora turns out to have the lowest level of tobacco and alcohol consumption in the country. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you so much for tuning in to our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Ora News, thank you and have a good night.